This lecture will try to discuss about the tissues. The tissues are a group of cells that forms a structure and perform a particular function. And they can be classified according to their shape, size, or structure of its cells. They're a group of cells. And there are four types of tissues, which includes epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. And here, this is an organ called the stomach, which is made of various tissues such as muscular tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, then epithelial tissue. These are the various types of tissues, and in this lecture we'll try to understand about the epithelial tissue. And these are the tissues that are seen in the lining of the cavities, hollow organs, then tubular structures and glands. And the functions of the epithelial tissue includes protection, absorption, and secretion. These are the major functions performed by an epithelial tissue, and they are seen in the lining of the cavities, body cavities, and the hollow organs. Example, the inner lining of the uterus, then tubular structures, inner lining of the fallopian tube, and the glands are all made of epithelial tissue. The types of epithelial tissue include a simple epithelium and stratified epithelium. Let's see simple epithelium. Simple epithelium consists of a single layer of similar type of cells. You can see that here, a similar kind of cells. A single layer of similar kind of cells will be there in the simple epithelium. They are found on the absorptive and secretory surfaces. The surfaces which are responsible for absorption. Example, the absorption of nutrients taking place in the small intestine, inner lining of the small intestine. Secretory surfaces where secretion is happening. So in those surfaces you can see simple epithelium consisting of a single layer of a similar kind of cells. It includes squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and ciliated columnar epithelium are its various forms. Let's see the squamous epithelium. The squamous epithelium consists of a single layer of flattened cells, and these cells are arranged on the basement membrane. You can see a flat layer of cells arranged on the basement membrane. They're arranged on a membrane, and they are a single layer of cells, and this makes a very thin layer of cells. Very thin layer membrane. And this is seen in the inner lining of the heart, the endocardium of the heart, then blood vessels, the endothelial lining of the blood vessels, the innermost lining of the blood vessels, the innermost lining of the lymph vessels, and the lung alveoli, a very thin membrane forming the wall of the lung alveoli. All these are formed of squamous epithelium. They make a very thin layer, and they consist of a thin flat layer of cells. The next is cuboidal epithelium. The cells are cube shaped, consist of a layer of cube shaped cells. You can see that in the diagram. Cube shaped cells, and there are a single layer of cube shaped cells, and they line on the basement membrane. The cells are arranged on the basement membrane, and they are seen forming the glands, kidney tubules, nephron. Okay. Next is columnar epithelium. It consists of column-like cells, long cells arranged on a basement membrane. The cells are arranged on a basement membrane. You can see that here. They are long column-like cells present lining on the basement membrane. They are seen in the alimentary tract, the digestive tract. Example, in the stomach, the small intestine, the inner lining of the intestines consist of formed of columnar epithelium. There are specialized columnar cells in the columnar epithelium, and they are called goblet cells. And these goblet cells, they secrete mucus, and the mucus protects the lining, the mucus lining of the mucosa. It protects the inner lining of the internal organs. Okay. You can see that here, the columnar epithelium. And next is ciliated columnar epithelium. It consists of microscopic hair-like structures on its surface. So those hair-like structures are called cilia. You can see that in the diagram. There are hair-like structures on its free border. There are column-like cells. On the surface of the columnar cells, on the free border of the columnar cells, there are cilia present. And it is also formed of a single layer of column-like cells, and they are arranged on a basement membrane. And they are seen in the uterine tubes and airways. And in the airway, it helps in the movement of the sputum, or it helps in the movement of the mucus, so that the mucus or the sputum can be brought to the throat, and from there it can be spitted out. And in the uterine tube, the hair-like structures on its interior, inner wall, helps in the movement of the ova, spermatozoa, the fertilized ovum and spermatozoa through the uterine tube. The movement of the cilia helps in the movement of a surface onto it through its surface. So ciliated columnar epithelium, there are cilia present on its upper border, free border. They are formed of column-like cells arranged on the basement membrane. The ciliary action decreases or stops in case of respiratory disorder, leading to delayed mucus emptying from the respiratory tract. And the excessive mucus in the form of sputum is expelled out of the urine respiratory tract through coughing. Next is stratified epithelium. We're discussing the simple epithelium. In that, we already discussed about the squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and ciliated columnar epithelium. Now I'll discuss about the stratified epithelium. It consists of different types of cells. Stratified epithelium, there are many layers of cells arranged one over the other. You can see different layers of cells, different types of cells arranged one over the other. There are many layers. It protects the underlying structures from mechanical wear and tear. It is present in all those areas where the areas are subjected to mechanical wear and tear. And the cells on the superficial layer may be flat cells. On the superficial, they are flat cells, and there may be dead cells, and they shed off continuously. The superficial layer cells may continuously shed off. The superficial layer is formed from the layers below, and those cells that have been shed off are being replaced by the cells growing up from the germinative layer. And the cells in the deeper layers are columnar shaped long cells. And the stratified epithelium is of two types: stratified squamous epithelium and transitional epithelium. Let's see the stratified squamous epithelium. There are two different types of stratified squamous epithelium, which include keratinized epithelium and non-keratinized epithelium. Keratinized epithelium is found on the dry surfaces, the surfaces that are dry, example, skin, hair, nails, etc. And the superficial layer consists of dead cells, as we have already discussed. Here in the keratinized epithelium also they have different layers of cells. They have different layers of cells. You can see there are different types of cells, and on the surface there are dead cells, and they are filled with keratin, a protein called keratin, and this keratin makes the outer covering hard and waterproof. The superficial layers are dead cells, and these cells contain a protein called keratin. And the keratin makes it hard, waterproof outer layer. And this protects the underlying structures from drying. It prevents drying of the skin, drying of the hairs, nails, and then the non-keratinized epithelium. There is no keratin present in the cells, the superficial cells, and they are found on wet surfaces such as conjunctiva of the eye, the outer layer of the eye, the thin layer covering the eye. Then mouth, it is present in the mouth, inner lining of the mouth is of non-keratinized epithelium, inner lining of the pharynx, inner lining of the esophagus, vagina. All these are wet surfaces consisting of, formed of non-keratinized epithelium. Now transitional epithelium, which is again another type of type in the uh, in the in the stratified epithelium. In the stratified epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, we have already discussed. In that, we discussed about keratinized and non-keratinized epithelium. Now, next category in that is transitional epithelium. It consists of many layers of cells, as we already discussed, because it is a stratified epithelium, many layers of cells, and that are pear-shaped cells. They're seen on the walls of the urinary bladder, ureter, etc. And they can stretch, and as the urinary bladder being filled with urine, it stretches the wall of the urinary bladder, and as it stretches, it can change its shape. So the stretch, it can stretch when the bladder is filled with urine, and that's why it is transitional epithelium. So that was about the epithelial tissue. Thanks for watching.